The big topics are like happiness, death, and the first one is marriage and sex and women and all of that. And you meet this guy in Nevada.
His name's Vinny, and he's a pickup artist. I mean, he's not after long-term relationship.
No.
He's after, you know, that every night. But for me, that seems like a nightmare for me. I've never been like that.
If you hadn't met Suzanne at that moment, and you had been like this bloke and needing advice about how to meet women,
I'd rather not bother.
No.
It's too much effort. And I think as soon as you've got to put a lot of effort in, I think what's the point? I think you've got to be really at ease. I mean, I've been with Suzanne for 20 years, and some would say, you know, we've got a bit too lackadaisical.
Yeah.
You know, leaving the toilet door open, or, you know, there's just nothing there. We know each other that well.
Do you go to the toilet in front of each other?
What I mean is, I don't say I'm going, do you want to come and watch?
Right.
But what I mean is, I don't bother locking the door and sort of wondering about noises and stuff.
Okay.
Because we've been together for ages,
Right.
and we know that's what goes on.
Right. I want to read out this bit. In the next page, where you're still talking about this guy, you say, don't get me wrong, the sex thing, it's all right, but I'm not a great believer in going at it all night. Get it done, go to sleep, it's not something you should drag out.
I think everything needs to have an end, and if the end seems far away, I never watched Lost for the same reason. Sopranos box set, I really like it, but it's massive. You can have too much. So I'd say do it more often, but quicker. And whenever I go to bed, it's normally because I'm knackered. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
By the time I get up there, and we've got a cat now, so that delays things anyway. So even if it was like, oh, maybe tonight's the night, by the time you've got the cat out and locked up and, you know, we've moved into a house, so there's more doors to check. By the time, and more floors, we're not in a flat, we've got stairs. So by the time you get upstairs, I'm out of breath anyway now. And it's kind of like, oh, right, see you tomorrow, I'm shattered. Why no kids? I just don't want, I don't know, I don't want any kids. You shouldn't just do it for the sake of it, should you? Because that's, you know, that's not right, is it? You know, people always sort of say, oh, you'll regret not having them when you're older, but what about the other way around? What about if you regret having them? We're not sort of all cut out to be parents, are we? It's just not for me. And the thing is, I don't think my genes are that good. You know what I mean? If I was a doctor or something, or I had a really good brain, I'd think, well, those genes need to live on. But mine aren't that good. I mean, I'm in a right state at the moment. I've got a bad leg, got a bad foot, bad back. My eyes are bad. I've got to get glasses now. Bald. Do you know what I mean? It's not I'm not a perfect model, really, for life to go on. I'm not that important. So I wouldn't want to wish this on anyone else. I think if I got an urge to have a kid, maybe I'd adopt. That's all right. I think that's the way around it. If I want a kid, there's loads of kids out there that need looking after. I'd adopt one. That'd be that. And the good thing with that is, if he turns out to be a bit of a nutter, I can sort of say to people, oh, he's not mine. So in a way, I'm distancing myself from him anyway, which is quite good. So that's what I do. And he'd also have a name already, wouldn't he, when you adopt, which is a big sort of pain in the arse thing you have to do, isn't it? The amount of people that have kids and they go, no, we're thinking about the name. It goes on for ages. And then it's a big news when they reveal it and all that. At least with adopting a kid, he comes with it, it's done. Because they're getting sillier and sillier, aren't they, kids' names? Really struggling. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's because maybe it is that thing on Skype and all that. If you join Skype and you put your own name in, it goes, it's already taken. Maybe people are getting more and more ridiculous just so the kid can have a Skype name that isn't taken. So they're just coming up with odd fruit names and stuff like that. They sound like Japanese cars, some of these sort of names people come up with. So I think adoption is the way forward if I wanted a kid. But I don't, so I'm not worrying about it. So that was me there, just crying. It sort of works. I think people, I don't know, they're fascinated by people crying now, aren't they? That will work, that, I think. You can't watch any programme these days without seeing someone crying, can you? No matter what it is, whether it's a DIY programme, just any programme. If you see a promo for a film, a TV programme, there's always a clip of someone crying, because we like to see people crying, so that's why we put it on the cover. We love a crier. That used to be a saying, didn't it, that people like a trier? It's not, it's people like a crier now. That's what you've got to do to get attention. Strike, cry your eyes out. People, it shows us, I suppose it shows a weakness, and people like to see a weakness in people. Like Andy Murray, innit? That tennis player, everybody hated him. Oh, he's miserable. As soon as he started crying because he lost, oh, I'll try my best, everyone loved him. Country suddenly, they went from not liking him to loving him. So that's what I'm trying to do there. I'm not really crying, but it might con a few people going, oh, he has got a heart. You know, he does get upset.
This guy in LA who's done a lot of stuff to his body, that's a result of a lot of plastic surgery and liposuction and...
120 procedures.
Yeah.
About 100 and... What did he say? It's about $150,000 worth of work.
I'm quite impressed with the fact that you don't care. You're happy to stand there posing with your top off. And let's face it, you haven't got the best body known to man.
It's not a bad one.
No, it's fine.
It works.
Yeah.
But I understand that any women watching this wouldn't go, oh, look at him. But that's the reality, isn't it? That's what most people look like.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
So I don't know what's happened where they think that's normal on the left. All them bits, they're all implants he's got. The bits in his pecs, on the back of his arms, he's had stuff put in there.
Yeah.
And I was like, that can't be comfy.
No.
Have you sort of laid on Brighton Beach?
Yeah.
It's Pebbly Beach, isn't it?
Yeah, I used to live in Brighton. Yeah.
And it's not nice, is it, really? It's bumpy
it's annoying,
there.
Yeah.
And that's what I imagine it would be like for him to lie down at night, because he's not lying on his own bits.
Right,
it's all lumps of stuff. But honestly, the lengths people go to, he was telling me about how people have the ball sack.
Yes.
The testicle.
Crack.
Not just that anymore.
Oh, what do they have now?
Ironed.
Oh, what? Oh, really?
They have the things ironed because of the creases.
Oh, God.
They don't want creases in it. It's just like, what? I mean,
so they
when
want
I
a
said
smooth
yes.
ball sack.
And again, I was saying they're not, you know, lines on your face. It's about expression. It's about showing feeling. I don't know why your testicle. What's the proper word for it?
Scrotal sack, maybe?
Is it?
Something like that, yeah.
The scrotal
it's
sack.
scrotum, isn't it?
Your scrotum.
Yeah.
It's got
wrinkly,
lines on it. Yeah, what's that? I mean, they're not worry lines, are they?
No.
I don't know what they're there for. I suppose it's to give it a bit of movement. But at the end of the day, they've been like that for thousands, millions of years or whatever. Don't worry about it.
So in the final chapter on death, you go to Accra, is that right? And you kind of...
Accra in Ghana,
Accra.
yeah.
And this woman's died, this kind of local figure.
Over there, death is like the biggest bit of your life. It's almost like you spend more money on your funeral than anything else in your life, more than your wedding, more than you sending your kids to school and everything. That's what life's about, having a brilliant send-off. And it's healthier to have that attitude, I think. And I don't know, I mean, I think I am pretty good knowing that, you know, I know that I'm going to die, and I'm pretty good at accepting it. And for me, that's what makes life good, really, knowing that it's going to end. When I was a kid, Pac-Man was a massive game. Kids watching this, they'll go, what's Pac-Man? But it's a game, innit, where there's a man eating like that. And it makes its way around a maze eating... in fact, here's a little... This is interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Can you remember the noise of Pac-Man as it's going round?
I don't think I can, no, go on.
Put your finger in your ear and push it in and out.
Oh, yeah.
That's the noise.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
That's what it's based on, I think.
Is it?
Yeah.
That's brilliant.
But anyway, so Pac-Man is just being chased about by ghosts, and you've got to run away from the ghost, haven't you? And, you know, that's kind of his life. And you get 3 lives. But when I was a kid, I typed in a code.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
That meant I'd have everlasting lives. Yeah. And even then, I remember I played it for, 45 minutes before I got bored of endless amount of lives. But that was a point, I think, when it made me realise that living forever isn't all that. Because for Pac-Man, I think his most happiest time was when the game was over. It wasn't being chased anymore. His whole life was spent being chased, a bit like lives are for us in a way, and it's always someone mithering you for something, you know, and he got in the corner and he had that tablet, and that made him happy for a few seconds, and again, that's like human life, innit? You might sort of have holiday or something, and that lasts a week, and then it runs out, and then you're back to being chased about. And it was that fact that, he was lasting forever. I worked it out then.
So if you could have a cheat code
for life, don't
for
do it.
life,